All right, we are live. And I am the only one here. And it's my first time using my new microphone. So hopefully it's working right. Hopefully Lisa and Karen will be here soon. In the meantime, I will start getting ready to start painting my boot. Stuff I was supposed to do last week. Dry brushing in the base colors. I need something to mix some colors on. And I have been reorganizing my workshop. And not everything is currently in here, which is going to complicate matters slightly. Ah, we have Lisa.
Hello,
Hello.
I am here.
What?
I am here.
Ah, I heard here, and I was like,
Uh, can you hear me okay now?
yes. It just cut out for a second, and I don't know if it was the connection or if it was just my headphones for a second or something. But at any rate, welcome. I am, as I've been in the midst of reorganizing my workshop and getting, as I said, I was going to be doing, getting the things that are not related to Pixie Elegance put
Out of there.
elsewhere. And currently, a lot of my stuff is still not in here, so I'm trying to find something, or not put back in, not put into places that it belongs yet, because I'm still in the midst of the process. So I was trying to find something that I could mix paint colors on.
Well,
I think I found
I
something
spent the
about.
entire afternoon assembling a bookshelf, so that's where you are. You're on my new bookshelf.
I'm a book.
Yay!
I am an open book.
I can see you're the kind of person who would love to be a book.
What are you talking about? I am a book. Didn't I just say that?
That's right. Oh, well, that's so good.
Well, is Karen coming?
Yeah, she's probably running late. She usually is. But I just realized I don't have a hook to crochet with, so I will be right back.
You be right back. And I will continue working on mixing my colors. Oh, we have a Karen. Hello, Karen.
Hello. I know I'm late.
That's okay.
I've been having technical difficulties with my phone today.
Fun. Lisa
Yeah.
just went to get a crochet hook. She
Ah,
suddenly realized that she didn't have one, which does make crocheting slightly difficult.
it does.
I'm getting ready to start painting the base colors of my boot that I didn't paint last week. The not base colors of the boot itself, because obviously I already did that, but dry brushing in the base colors of. Let me get a little more light on this and see if this adjusts enough to the light. May not. Nah, it's not gonna.
Well, I see some stencil work in there.
Well, yeah, it's hard to see the actual outlines of things, but at any rate, I'm gonna start dry brushing in the color.
I didn't really prep a craft for today. I've been cleaning my office.
We've all been cleaning today, apparently.
Uh,
You guys notice I no longer have a yarn wall behind me.
I did notice with a sad face, I love your wall of yarn.
It's up in my bedroom now. It's not like I got rid of my yarn or anything.
my office is still very much a mess. It's just some things are put away now.
It's a partially put away mess.
A partially put away mess. I spent literally 2.5 hours on it today. So that's a lot for me, okay?
That would be a lot for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just spent 2 hours putting together a bookshelf.
After work. She did that afterwards.
I hear you. I hear you.
You know, I'm just gonna finish Caroline's order for her earring and pendant and just go from there. That's
There
what
you
I'll work on today.
Yay.
She's like, yay, it'll get done sooner.
I'm really excited for this.
I'm working
Yeah.
on a Christmas present, so not for either one of you though.
That's probably for the best. If I
Yeah,
end
we're live
up
right now, right? So people won't know if I don't tell them, right?
finishing dry brushing everything in on this one, I may have to go, because most of my stuff from my workshop is in my dining room in boxes that I've been sorting it into. I'm almost done clearing everything out of here, and then I have to bring it back in to organize things into place once I have the space to organize it into place. So anyway, I may end up having to go grab my other boot.
Well, there you go.
I'm gonna quickly explain.
They're way too high right now, so I'm gonna change it up a bit. I feel like the camera angle is way too high, so I'm changing it around.
Yeah, I tried putting up mine a little higher because it's already on a stack of books like always, but it just the extra thing just made it more precarious and the phone didn't want to stay up.
Oh, you guys are chilling on the bookshelf I just finished making. So
Right. So for those who don't know, I'm gonna be working on today is making another one of these, but as a necklace pendant. Who wants to stop moving? And another one of these, which is gonna be the earring that goes with it. Wow, so basically Caroline loved this idea, but she says it's too heavy for earrings, so I'm making her a custom set of these as the earrings.
Not too heavy. It's not the weight that bothers me. It's having things tapping my neck.
They're too big.
I get tickled too easily. I have a lot of sensory issues. And everybody's like, you should wear big earrings. It looks so great with your curly hair. And I'm like, it would, no.
like, I'm good with that. Thank you.
Plus my curly hair is the only thing disguising my ridiculously tiny head. So why would I want to then wear giant earrings to emphasize how small my head is?
It's a little better. I feel like
Anyway,
are kind of in the dark, but that's okay. All right, now that we're all situated.
10 minutes in.
well, 10 minutes for some of us.
5 minutes for me. I was late.
Just picking on you.
I know.
Oh, I'm like looking for one of my paints in the drawer, and it was still sitting on my table in front of me. Anyway, so we read chapters 42 and 43, right?
Yep.
I'm bad at numbers, but I was pretty sure that those were what
Sounds
yeah,
yep as her being unimpressed.
yeah, I know. So, Lisa, what did I say to you today?
She asked me, Karen, if you're gonna hold on to your little ship or if you were just going to resign with unhappiness.
I have resigned on my ship. I'm very sad. I'm very sad about my ship.
Yeah.
It's gone. It has sunk.
It sunk hard, Karen. It sunk hard.
Sunk into the abyss.
That ship was never gonna do anything but sink. I'm sorry.
I love that ship. Okay.
I know, and so do a lot of other people, but I happen to agree with Jo in her observation that they would not have a happy marriage.
Yeah.
I can't do that with this.
So the first chapter, I forget what it's called, but it's mostly about Jo adjusting to life and trying to be Beth in the family.
Yeah.
That made me so sad. Sorry.
Yeah, it kind of,
and they didn't expressly state it that I recall, but I think she was kind of trying to be Beth in the family and then also kind of figuring out that she doesn't need to be Beth in the family.
I think that's what we came to the conclusion of, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think it was as directly stated as a lot of the lessons of Little Women are. I think it was more implied than quite as directly stated.
I mean, Jo goes through quite a bit in this chapter. Obviously, for Jo, it's taking off from as soon as Beth has passed.
Yeah.
And so from that point, she's going from grieving and trying to like cover up some of that grieving by, keeping busy being Beth. And, she doesn't want to write again because of Beth. And I like how her mom and her dad kind of just like convince her slowly that Beth would have liked her to write more, that they want to hear more, and then she gets back into her writing and kind of grows back into her new self.
Yeah.
Her story, even they submitted her story and she even they even wanted more of her story, the publisher did.
Yeah.
Which shocked her.
Yeah, because the last story she tried to write, Mr. Bear didn't appreciate, if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, that was her sensationalist.
Oh,
stuff.
the stuff she was writing for money.
Yeah, she wasn't necessarily writing them because that's what she wanted to write. Remember, she started reading newspapers and following mystery stories and trying to make things darker and more thriller-like rather than her normal stuff.
Right. So, yeah, it
doesn't say roughly how long it was after Beth passed that the first chapter takes.
Like I said, I think it kind of goes over a year or so, I think is her grieving.
I don't know. I mean, definitely time passes. But
because yeah.
I don't know that I don't think I've ever really tried to consider how much time either.
A hard year, so since Beth, so it makes me assume that it was about a year after Beth.
Yeah, but Beth had been declining for quite a while first, so I think it was a hard year already before
Yeah, there's no, they really don't put away for you to time limit it at all.
Well, they
Um,
say she's 25.
yeah, in the next chapter, Joe turns 25. Which means all this is taking place over like 10 years.
Yeah, which
Total, yeah.
Um, but I really felt Joe's position on this one because I have been the lonely one before. Like she was alone, and I felt that. I really did. I'm
Yeah.
sure other people have, like, I'm pretty sure that's why she wrote it, because it's very relatable feeling. You feel
Yes.
like
Yes, it
you're
is.
all alone.
everybody had somebody but Joe, you know.
Yep.
Joe had Beth, and Beth is gone. Sorry.
Mm,
You know, because Meg had John and Marmee had Pa, and and
And Amy has Teddy.
I don't know who Hannah had, but nobody cared enough to ask.
That's actually kind of true.
Hannah doesn't eat anybody. She's a servant. They don't count.
But she said she appreciated.
I was being sarcastic.
She said she was the only one who said, "Don't think we don't see you singing humming best songs, and you know, like, and that we appreciate it." Like, she's the one who told Joe that appreciated the little tiny Beth-like gestures that Joe was doing.
Hannah is so underappreciated.
Yep, she's the unsung hero in the whole story.
Hashtag justice for Hannah.
Then we move on to the next chapter because I don't think there's much more to talk about in this chapter. To where Teddy and Amy come home. Yay!
Yay.
Surprise!
And I gotta say, when it says that he stooped down and kissed her, and then she woke up and was like, I was like, wait, he kissed. Well,
On the cheek or the forehead or something.
Yeah,
I know.
on the
I
cheek
really
or the
wish that they would
forehead.
specify that.
I know, like they mean on the cheek or the forehead, one of the two.
I thought she was having a dream and she realized she left Teddy all alone.
And that's not the first time that this has come up in this either. That we're like, wait, kiss them? Like, okay, I guess like on the cheek or forehead or something. But I don't know if it was just not a thing at the time to specify that or what, but like I really wish it was specified.
PDA was not a thing.
True.
PDA was much different back then.
Also true. Or still true, something like that. Anyway.
So they have this big conversation, and then Amy and the Ma and Pa come up and they chat and they have fun and tell stories. And there's no longer a physical barrier, the pillows between Joe and Lori, but more like a natural grown barrier now.
Right.
And apparently they got married.
Yeah, were you expecting that?
I was
Either of
not
you?
expecting that. No.
Well, so I've mentioned this before. I think I've seen a clip of the 90s movie, I think, where I saw Teddy come back married to Amy, and I think I've mentioned this before. And so when it came up, it was like, oh, okay, so it wasn't as much as a surprise because I kind of felt like I remembered that anyway.
You never said they were married before, at least not that my brain connected. Like, my brain died it venomously.
Because I know, never.
I honestly don't remember.
I swear, they were in a coach.
No,
And
no, they do. I remember them coming back. I don't
I feel like I've
remember.
seen this.
I don't remember. I don't
Me
want to say
saying
that.
that?
No, I don't want to say what I was going to say because I don't want to give spoilers. But suffice to say, not everything in the movie is entirely book accurate. Let's just put it that way.
I think that's true for all movies based on books.
I mean, yeah. But like I couldn't remember before. There are some differences in Laurie and Amy's relationship, and I could not remember if they were married before they got back or not, because I knew they are in the movie, and I couldn't remember if they also were in the book or not. I guess is what I was trying to say earlier. More or less. Except with other thoughts that I don't want to say because I don't want to give spoilers.
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
Yay! Sorry. You made my
Yeah.
Doctor Who heart happy.
Yes, I know.
You're welcome.
I saw this TikTok about the actress who plays River Song, and she's like, "Oh, I hope to continue sharing her with in the future, but that would be spoilers." I was like, "Yes, she said spoilers."
That's funny. This is not Doctor Who related, but my ADHD brain is noodling and this is all connected in my brain, I promise. But in this chapter, I had a part not that made me think of Doctor Who, but that made me think of Six the Musical. Did anybody else catch that?
I don't think so. My brain didn't.
Joe is telling Teddy, we can't go back to being the girl and boy we were. Playtime's over. And my brain goes, playtime's over. Playtime's over.
I didn't catch that, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, I hear it. Yeah.
Playtime's over. The only thing you want to do is. Which, I mean, yes. Not anymore, Joe. Sorry. You and Amy swapped places in his heart, as he said. But yes. It's funny though.
I always forget the name of the twins. I think it's Daisy and
Demi.
Demi.
Demi-John.
Little John.
Demi-John.
Demi-John.
Robin Hood and Little John drove through the forest. I recently watched the Disney Robin Hood with the fox and the
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the cartoon version of Robin Hood.
yes,
Robin
Hood. The snake that can cross its arms. Sorry, again, not related, but still one of my favorite
That
moments.
cracks me up though. Do I not have any black paint in here? How much time did I spend searching for Conti? 2 sessions ago to draw on the boot. How much time did I spend searching for Conti?
A few minutes, I think.
Just found it.
Yay.
Apparently, for some reason, no, because it was in my plastic drawers here that I haven't been changing stuff around in. It was just for some reason in my paint drawer instead of my drawing stuff drawer.
Interesting.
It's probably just in a hurry at some point.
This is a slow going thing. I don't know if I'm committed to this design or not, but we'll try a few more rows, see how it goes.
Is it one of my projects or no?
No, it's a Christmas present.
Because you're a little behind on your course.
I know.
You're a little bit behind.
Just a little.
Those who don't know, I made Lisa an advent calendar and I gave her craft patterns every even day of the month. She hasn't done a single one of them.
I'm working on it.
Okay, well, how much time for additional crafts do you have when also working on making Christmas presents? Like,
Yes, I'm working on 2 different Christmas presents. One you guys know is huge.
yep.
I'm working on my Christmas dress. I'm trying to organize my room
You know how
for
long it
Christmas.
took me to type up those instructions?
I know, and I'll do them. I promise.
If she doesn't make them until after Christmas, she at least got the present of what the gift of what the crafts are each of the days that she opened the advent calendar. The gift of having the anticipation of doing those crafts when she's able to.
Anyways, I haven't opened up mine that Lisa made me yet, but I got Groot yesterday, so.
Oh, Groot bobblehead. It's kind of just a
Groot.
mashup of things I thought you'd like, okay?
I'm not saying I don't like it. I mean, let's be honest here. I have. Oh, don't fall. Ugh. I have. Oh, that's gone. You look so sad.
Aww,
Yeah, so sad Groot.
that's a
And
sad Groot.
The bobblehead looks sad too. Yeah.
All right, let's see. I need some green.
Oh, it's a Grogu.
Oh, and some silver.
Waiting for Caroline to notice.
All right. So they all get together. They're all having
I
a marathon time.
Lisa
Joe
said
goes
it's a
to-
Grogu. I didn't feel the need to say any more than that.
It reverts to a sad Groot. That's what she's showing.
Sad
So they're having a great time. Joe, I'm assuming, takes a minute to step outside and just like feels sad for herself because
Because
everybody's got
everybody's happy.
somebody. Everybody's got somebody but me.
Hannah doesn't have anybody.
Wait, are you talking about the arrival?
Yes.
She doesn't take a minute to step outside. She goes to answer the door when there's a knock at the door.
Oh, I thought she was already outside.
I know she was the last one downstairs. Everybody
Well,
was
she's
upstairs.
taking a moment.
Yeah, I think she was taking a moment on
upstairs
her own,
by
but
herself. You know, everybody's got somebody but me watching little
They're all
toddlers crawl up the
upstairs.
stairs.
Yeah.
And then she hears a knock on the door, and much to me and Karen's dismay,
I wasn't that disappointed by it.
what do you have against him? Good grief.
honestly, I have to go back and look at it. I think it's because I portray him in my mind as someone who's like old, like
Much
in their
older.
40s or 50s. Like, you know, compared to her, he would be old. I'm not sure if this is true.
Yes, it is.
I don't think
Well,
it's
not like 50s, but like
I feel like he'd be in his 30s.
upper
No.
30s, early 40s, something like that. He is older than she is.
Yeah.
See, I feel like he's late 40s or 50s, early
I
50s,
feel more like 30s.
which is my biggest problem with him, which is why I need to go back and see if they kind
Here.
of give any hint to his age.
Let me
My
let me
biggest
Google and
problem-
see if it actually says it anywhere.
My
Because I
biggest
feel like
problem
he's
is-
way too old for her, and that's always been my problem. As I felt like they were trying to put her with someone who was way too old for her.
This is why Lisa doesn't like the student teacher tropes.
I don't. I really don't.
And so I didn't like it because I was so
He's
pro.
He's 40,
Yeah.
but she's 25, so he's
He's-
only 15 years older
Well,
than her.
maybe 20 years older than her because he's 40, I think, when she meets him.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to say about 18. 17, 18 years older than her.
That seems like such an age gap.
She's like twice her age.
I know a couple who have a much bigger age gap than that is much less societally accepted today than it was at the time. And they are one of the sweetest, happiest couples. So if
You
it's what
think about it,
works,
It's
In
just
the old days,
odd.
people used to marry their daughters, their 14-year-old daughters, to like 60-year-old men.
that's
For
my
starters.
big thing is if it's because it's what works for the couple, not because of some power balance thing or whatever, then I'm fine with it. When it's a power balance or a gold digger waiting for somebody to die or anything like that, anything other than just that they fell in love, or if they fell in love when the younger of them was still underage. But otherwise, if it's what works for them, it doesn't really bother me. I think get used to more, honestly, that couple I know probably has a lot to do with why it doesn't bother me as much as it used to.
Well, so I was thinking he was closer to 50s than 40s. So
He's probably about 42, 43 now in the story. And so he's not that much, like not that much older, I guess. I've seen worse pairings in my life.
I've seen worse pairings, and sometimes they're the same age. They're just worse pairings because they're awful people.
yeah, they're not compatible people.
Like I said, my big problem with the Mr. Bear is that he was in the way of my Joe and Teddy ship. Okay.
That's the best sale, that song.
See, that I knew.
Like, and I knew there was kind of something going on, just like with the Amy and the Lori, and I was trying to ignore it so badly because, of course, she
Yeah.
talked nonstop about him in her letters home. Like, of course,
Which
he was
is such
always,
a Joe thing to do, like not even notice that she's over talking about somebody.
and her whole family was like, yeah, she's got a crush on this guy. She just doesn't know it yet. Like,
And then her parents are like, well, I'd rather she not be with somebody older than she is for the same reason of like, we don't want her to be widowed young or anything. And that because it was so much more accepted that, I mean, it wasn't as common then as 100 years earlier, but it was still fairly common and well accepted. And so that was just one more way that her parents would buck societal norms in favor of just wanting what was best for their girls.
yeah, like they didn't want any of their girls to get married before 21 because they wanted them to, instead of having a reckless love that wouldn't last, they wanted them to find someone that they could truly be with for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that's so,
That was unusual for the time.
yeah.
Yeah. So Joe answers the door and Mr. Bear is there and he's like, oh, you got company. I think I'm just gonna leave. And she's like, oh no, it's just a family. Come on in. My brother and sister just came home. But she sums it up because Joe has always said she felt Lori as more of a brother than a love interest.
Yes.
Goodbye, ship. Okay.
Goodbye, sure.
Can't figure out exactly what I drew here.
I don't know.
There's supposed to be a leaf here, but I have this like other either I make the leaf really funny shaped, or there's also something that's supposed to be poking out from behind it, and I'm not sure which it is.
Is it a stem or a flower or
Nope.
is it a pointy leaf?
Man, that's my problem. Still trying to figure out what's wrong with this thing I'm making. I made it too wide.
Hmm.
That'll do it.
So Mr. Bear comes in and officially meets the family. They all love Mr. Bear.
Thank you,
I'm
Karen, for keeping us on track.
Uh, and honestly, if I can't have my Joe and Lori ship, I might as well go for Mr. Bear. He's
He's a nice guy.
a nice guy who's good with kids, is a kind heart, and he's very patient and kind, and taught her German, I think.
Yep.
He's teaching her German.
He is German.
Yeah, but he was teaching her German at one
Yes.
point.
Yes, but I meant, yes, he teaches that, but also like because it's his
Yeah,
native
German.
language. It was my point. But yes.
And honestly, if I hadn't been so into the Lori and Teddy ship, because I am a fan of the student teacher trope, I might have gone for Mr. Bear instead of originally.
I am not typically a fan of the student teacher trope, but I mean, Professor Bear he's a professor, but he was only her professor because she asked him to, or did she ask him or did he volunteer? Anyway, because they decided to, they met more as equal members of this boarding house before before it's not like they met in that teacher student role. Which again for me is a matter of that power balance, and that wasn't an issue with them because that's not how they met in the first place. The teaching was a choice that they made, not the way that their relationship formed in the first place.
Right.
This is backing up a little bit, but I was kind of laughing at the whole thing with Jo turning 25 and feeling like she has nothing to show for it. Because it reminded me of, hold on me. Okay. John Milton's poem On Arriving at the Age of 23, which I shall now read to you. Ready? How soon hath time, the subtle thief of youth, stolen on his wings my 23 year. My hasting days fly on with full career, but my late spring no bud or blossom showeth. Perhaps my semblance might deceive the truth, that I to manhood am arrived so near, and inward ripeness doth much less appear, that some more timely happy spirit induth. Yet be it less or more, or soon or slow, it shall be still in strictest measure even. To that same lot, however, mean or high, toward which time leads me and the will of heaven. All is, if I have grace to use it so, as ever in my great taskmaster's eye. The fact that John Milton felt the need to write a poem about how little he had accomplished, and he couldn't believe he was already 23 and had so little accomplished. And I was just like,
honestly, I've done nothing with my life except get married. That's all I've done with my life.
Hey, I mean, to some people and in some times and cultures, that's literally all you're expected to do.
See, I had a plan. I was gonna meet somebody at 23 or 22, get married about 24 or 25, have kids around 28.
No, she's lying about her plan. She wanted to meet somebody at 20, get married by 23, have kids a few years later.
How can you possibly plan out what age you will meet somebody at?
I don't know, but I met Paul at 20. I got married at 23. I did not have kids, but I stole most of her plan, including the backyard wedding with our grandparents' ashes at the end of the altar. And our mom will not ever be there for when Lisa gets married. So I literally stole her dream story, except for the kids.
I met my husband when we were, I guess technically we probably met when we were like 14 or 15, but the first time we really remember meeting each other, we were probably 17 or 18. And we didn't start getting to know each other until we were 19. And we didn't get together until we were 23 and got married when we were 24. And I didn't think I was going to marry him. I was like, no, not that one.
Nope. The first time I met Paul's eyes, I knew he was the only one I wanted to be with. And a month into our relationship, which we didn't start dating for several months later, I knew that I wanted to marry him, and that was it. No one else.
Again, the eye thing was something that I wanted. Didn't get.
Not something I really ever believed in or thought would happen. I was much more a believer in friends to lovers kind of trope. The, childhood friend that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only I didn't have any childhood friends.
I mean, I didn't have a childhood friend in that regard, but we were definitely friends first. I just didn't think that I would ever be interested in him as anything more. I might have known that I would be sooner, but I knew that he was interested in me, so I was avoiding him because I didn't want to accidentally lead him on. But I also knew that I didn't really want to date while I was in college. I wanted to wait until after I graduated. I wanted to take college to just focus on college and not date until I was actually ready to get married. Ready for the potential for it to lead to marriage, at least. Anyway.
So both of you were not looking to get married and ended up married. And
Lisa has been trying really hard to find a decent guy.
Hey, I got one.
You got one. You got a good one too.
Yes. He is
Let me
approved.
stress that I have one.
He has been approved. It just took you an extra 13 years. And so at the end of the night, everybody leaves, and we almost follow Mr. Bear home. As it says, he closes his door.
Oh, wait, you skipped something important.
You skipped a lot of important, like a lot at the party.
I may have skimmed the party.
Oh, so there's a cute thing about how
they sang together. So
they sang together. And they all looked at Beth's chair with her last project unfinished.
Ouch. Oh, ouch. I can't do that.
And I felt like she was there with them in spirit. And
they could say we are all here together without feeling like they were lying or ignoring that Beth wasn't there, because they felt like she was there.
In spirit, yeah. And then there was the cute thing where it's such an old person thing to do, as I sit here and do it. Joe was just sitting there knitting, looking at everybody's happiness and going, I would be content being the happy Auntie Joe.
And and then she was observing Professor Bear's way that he was dressed, and she was like, good grief, he couldn't have taken more care with how he dressed if he was going courting. And then that actually sunk into her brain.
Like she wouldn't mind if he courted her.
Or is that what he's here for?
Really? 'Cause I didn't get that impression, because she's like, he never told me what he was here for, and she thought it was some event he won an award or something.
Well, he says he has business in town, so she says she doesn't know what his business is for. But as far as the care that he took for going to visit them, she's like,
he did that for me.
Yeah.
Well,
She's like,
I missed a lot in my skimming. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then she drops the it. Okay, it says she drops the ball. Was it the ball of yarn?
Yeah, it was a ball of yarn.
Okay.
Yes.
And for some reason, I pictured blue.
I pictured blue too. I don't know if they said blue, but I pictured blue.
I don't know. I was picturing a ball for putting inside a sock when darning a sock to help retain the shape of the toe. So
Oh, so she was kidding. So I assume she had.
yeah, I know. I had forgotten, and then I had to go back, and I was like, wait, what's the? Yeah, I confused my brain. In other words, anyway, so she dropped it deliberately to
I think
bend
it was
down.
accidentally.
No, she dropped it deliberately because it says she the thought, like once she went, oh, he, if he couldn't have taken more care with his dress if he was going courting. And then she was blushing at that thought and didn't want people to see, and bent over, like deliberately dropped the yarn so she could bend over to get it, so people wouldn't be seeing her face.
Okay.
But when she dropped it, he meant to pick it up for her too. So they crashed their heads together, and then neither of them pick it up.
Yeah, it's like the maneuver did not succeed as well as she's expected. However, though just as the act of setting fire to a funeral pyre, the professor dropped his torch, metaphorically speaking, and made a dive after the little blue ball. So it is blue. Of course, they bumped their heads smartly together, saw stars, and both came up flushed and laughing without the ball to resume to their seats, wishing they had not left them.
Oh, those sweet little hot messes. So then, when Laurie and Amy are leaving, they're only introduced as Amy was only introduced as being her sister. And so when they're leaving, and Laurie says something about, my wife and I need to get going. That's the first time that Professor Bear discovers that Laurie and Amy are married. And remember, Professor Bear was aware of Joe and Laurie's friendship and had suspected that she might be interested in Laurie previously. And so when he's like, oh, my wife and I need to get going, and he's like, oh, okay, and like heartily shaking their hands and all happy as he's saying bye to them.
See, I skimmed too much because all I got was the last sentence.
Wow, you skimmed a lot, Karen, because there was a lot of juicy stuff at that party. Like, where were you?
I mean, my difficulty is I do better if I see it, but I've been listening to it at work. And when it's auditory, I don't always catch as much. Of course, when I'm reading it, I remember more of what I've seen, but I jump back and forth across the page, so I don't always remember the order that I read it in. But when I'm listening, I get distracted and by my own thoughts. And then I'm like, wait, what just happened? So anyway, what was that supposed to be?
You're looking at your drawing.
Yes, yes, she is.
I have this heart here and this chain here. The heart has like a lock in the middle, and I have a key over on this side. So I've got them with like a yellow base. Once I go in with like the browns and other shades of yellows and stuff, it's really going to be more like brassy colored, more or less. But I have another blue line down here that I don't know what it was supposed to be underneath the heart.
Huh.
Or like partially behind the heart, probably.
Don't mind me, all of my attention is trying to undo this knot.
And
Oh no.
my white paint and my black paint are both out in one of the boxes out there because they hadn't been in the drawer of paints, and I don't want to go out and get them. So I guess I'm going to be done painting for tonight. But I got the base of a bunch of different things put in, so next time I can start putting in shadows and highlights. Of course, next time is going to be in 2024.
Ugh, so far away.
And that's gonna be the second. No.
No, the
Nope.
7th,
No,
8th.
the ninth.
Ninth.
The
Ninth.
Ninth, because it was my sister's birthday. Yeah. So in the meantime, we are
Oh, I forgot. We missed the part we kept trying to skip to.
oh yes.
The very end, we follow Mr. Bear home. He closes his door and looks at a photo of what you assume is Joe because he says it's a wild-haired. And then
Unruly woman.
he kisses the photo.
To which I say, why does he have that picture? This isn't a time when photos were easy to come by or anything.
He must have
Is
gotten
it a photo or is it a painted portrait? That's the thing.
Photo, a painting, a drawing.
It said photo. It said photo.
Did it? I thought it said image.
Making me go back and look again.
You know,
Okay.
my
You're probably gonna
copy
get there
ended
sooner
like
than I
at the first half of the book.
Okay. If you'd seen his face when safe in his own room, he looked at the picture, okay, it's his picture, of a severe and ragged young lady with a good deal of hair, who appeared to be gazing darkly into futurity. It may seem, well, I totally butchered that word. It might have thrown some light upon the subject, especially when he turned off the gas and kissed the picture in the dark. So picture. I'm assuming that's a photo. It doesn't say drawing or painting, it's a picture.
For being in the 1860s, I wouldn't assume it's a photo.
All right, what do you guys think of this?
Interesting.
I'm not 100%
Uh,
on. I think I'm gonna look up some patterns.
Okay, hold on. Okay, what?
The question is, what are you trying to make?
Yeah, I can't, without knowing what it is, which since you're working on a Christmas present, you might not be able to say online. And without knowing what it is, I can't really have an opinion on it. So as a stitch, it's nice, but
I can try.
Yeah. You were too small on my screen though.
Oh.
Okay.
As I'm trying to like figure out what you guys are saying.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah.
I'm like, my signing's rusty. You gotta forgive me. But
My
Anyway,
signing's more rusty than hers.
um,
I'm not 100% on it, so I may change it. But
I like it, but bring it to work tomorrow so I can see it in person and I might have more thoughts.
okay. And new.
Um, so for January 9th, 2024, we will be reading chapters 44 and 45. And hey, Karen, you want to show us what you got done?
I finished one of these little circly thingies,
Yay!
and I'm just finishing up the second one now.
Once she finishes that knot.
I'm so excited for him.
And then I have to either make this one into this or start it into the chandelier loop for the other one. So I think I'll do this one as the earring first and then do the other one for the loop.
Do.
Uh,
All right. Well,
so I still got two more of these to do. But
okay.
They're trying to show it off, Karen.
Oh, yes, those are dragonfly earrings I made Lisa.
It doesn't stay very shaped very well.
No, I didn't like that pattern very well compared to the butterflies for the necklaces. That one was not as great.
I do love it though. It's always got its wings folded.
It would probably need to be done on wire.
Probably.
Probably.
Thinking probably wire. I can always
Anyway.
spray with Mod Podge or something, you know.
Yeah. So, yeah, until next year, I hope everybody has a fabulous holiday season. And I will be putting some stuff up on Pixie Elegance between now and the new year, but more after the new year as my business partner and I are getting ready for a more firm launch of everything come late January or so. So
I'm gonna
keep
be
an eye for that.
I'm working on getting Pixie Products onto its own web domain and getting that shop set up for the new year, especially for the 3rd anniversary coming up mid-January next month. So
3rd anniversary, oh my
I'm
gosh.
taking the month to just sit back and recollect, and we'll be headstrong at it in the new year. Just because I'm trying to jump back in the holidays after everything that happened did not work so well for me. So I'm sitting back for the month and reprocessing.
Good call. All right. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Yule, happy whatever thing you celebrate, and everybody say bye.